Cleanup is underway right now at a Keokuk Cemetery. This after police say the driver of a stolen dump truck plowed into several headstones last night. That driver, pictured there on your screen, 48-year-old Joseph Leeper of Keokuk, was arrested. Police say the pursuit began when they saw him driving erratically near 12th and Main Streets. Now, they say he continued even after police turned on sirens. The truck was hauling an excavator, which ended up crashing into two vehicles. The chase ended after Leeper drove through Oakland Cemetery and collided into several headstones. Crews say it could take them about a week to fix all the damage.
He went for a pretty decent ride, and behind you, where they jumped over the wall, it kind of looked like, and stones were way further away than what they were actually supposed to be at. So they hit pretty hard.
Now, Leeper faces several charges, including burglary, driving with a revoked license, and 23 traffic citations.